different than what we heard a couple weeks ago of 16 people arrested and charged as part of a different gang indictment. Here, what they're saying is the Big U enterprise, along with his 5 associates, yes, Termaine Ashley Williams, aka Loose Cannon, is alleged to be part of this enterprise. He's part of the robbery angle. There's a lot of charges. Let me take you through the primary charges. The first, the Fed's favorite, it's a criminal RICO enterprise. What are they involved in? Robbery and extortion. I don't know if you've heard anything about Big U and his cohorts extorting people, but the Fed seem to think that what you may have heard is true. There's transportation for prostitution, there's bank and wire fraud, you have tax crimes, obstruction of justice. Now, there's a number of different schemes that they're saying the Big U enterprise engaged in. One of them, you've probably heard of it, is the check-in extortion scheme. You're an out-of-town celebrity or a gang member and you want to come to LA, well, you better get permission from Henley, according to the Feds, because a failure to check in will result in robberies, assaults, or worse. They reference that the Check-In podcast, I haven't seen it, I don't know if you've seen it, please direct me to the Check-In podcast, was used to legitimize this practice. The other charge, the murder of a rapper in Las Vegas. R.W., the rapper, was with Unique Music and allegedly murdered by Henley after perceived disrespect. The Feds say they have surveillance, cell phone data, and family interviews that all point to Henley as being the last person seen with R.W., the murdered rapper. And they say that there was an alleged cover-up where Henley and his associates went into the studio and got the surveillance tapes right before the murder happened. There's armed robbery of a marijuana dispensary. Henley allegedly ordered the robbery of a dispensary where an extortion victim worked. After the robbery, the victim was invited to Henley's home and told, "That's how you rob yourself." There's allegations of ongoing robberies and threats by Loose Cannon. They say they allege that Williams continued violent behavior, including a recent pistol whipping that was caught on video. Then there's extortion of business owners. Victims were extorted for thousands per month with threats of violence or robbery if they did not comply. There's a human trafficking and a sex trafficking allegation where Henley paid people to transport women across state lines for prostitution. The Feds say they've intercepted communications showing explicit instructions and references to sex work. There's fraud and embezzlement. They're saying that Henley used his nonprofit called Developing Options to fraudulently obtain grants. I think they're talking about PPP fraud or other COVID-19 related loans. There was the EIDL loan. And allegedly, he used fraud to obtain this stuff because he lied on the applications about what the enterprise, what the business actually did and who its employees were and how they were going to use the money. Then a nice little ending is, hey, after we announced the charges against him, he went online using somebody else's Instagram account. He got rid of his phones, stopped using them, and then went on some